Welcome to our lesson about collision detection. In my graphic area, I've got a base in blue and two jaws in green. The jaws move freely along the base. The mate is applied between the jaw and the base. Let's insert one more constraint. I'm going to select this face and this face here. Select Other. Apply, and cancel out of the tool. Now I'm going to use this constraint to drive. Right-click, Drive Constraint. End position, let's enter 3.5 inches here, and then click Play. Okay, let's slow it down a bit. We'll add a 0.1 second pause delay. And let's move in increments, 0.125, eighth of an inch. The endpoint, let's change to 3. Play again. This time, let's check the collision detection option and play. And here's our warning from Inventor. A collision was detected. In the title bar of the Drive Constraint window, we see the point at which the collision occurred, 1.875 inches. By the way, this is not a precise exact value. Inventor multiplies the number of steps by the increment value, which in our case is an eighth of an inch. That's how this value was calculated. For example, if my increment value changes to, let's say, a quarter of an inch, 0.25. Now let's play again. Oops, we need to play backward instead of forward. Let's try that again. And the collision is detected at a value of 2 inches this time. Now let's see how we can simulate a physical interaction between jaw A and jaw B. What we're going to do is incorporate both of these components into what's called a contact set. Let's right-click on jaw B, select Contact Set. Now let's right-click on jaw A and select Contact Set again. Now jaws A and B are members of the same contact set. Let's go to the Tools tab now. Click on Document Settings and go to the Modeling tab. Under Interactive Contact, let's select Contact Set Only. Apply and close. And let's drive Mate 5 again. Let's right-click on Mate 5 and select Drive Constraint. Let's press Play. As you see, we've created a simulation of a physical interaction. Let's try to drag the jaw by hand now. Let's right-click on Mate 5 and suppress it. And as you can see, when I drag one of the jaws, the other one moves as well. And let's move on to my next example. You may recognize this assembly. This is the rack and pinion that we created in Lesson 10 of this course. Now, as you may remember, we did have movement, but the teeth don't interact. In this area right here. Let me just drive the angle constraint again to show you again. Right-click, Drive Constraint. Let's press Play. As you can see, there's quite a bit of distance between the teeth. Let's cancel out of the Drive Constraint dialog window. Let me clarify the situation a little bit. Let's right-click on Rotation 1 and suppress it. Now let's go to Tools, Document Settings, Modeling tab. Under Interactive Contact, we see that All Components is selected. Let's close. I didn't create a contact set, as you can see here. Let's drive the angle constraint again. Right-click, Drive Constraint. Now let's play. Now you can see that the teeth actually do interact. And let's pause and cancel. Now let's create a contact set. Right-click on the rack and select Contact Set. The pinion as well, Contact Set. Now the rack and pinion are part of one contact set. Let's drive the angle constraint again. Drive Constraint. Play. And looks good. Let's cancel out. And let's open up Document Settings, Modeling tab again. The reason this worked out is because all components was selected. That means automatically all of our components are included. Let's apply the Contact Set Only option. Then we have a different situation. Since we did define a contact set, we'll still be able to drive our constraint. Let's remove the contact set. Just right-click on each item within and unselect Contact Set. Now let's drive the constraint and play. And as you can see, it doesn't work now. Basically, if you didn't create a contact set, under Interactive Contact, you're going to need to select all components if you want your drives to work. And this concludes our lesson about collision detection.